Welcome to another broadcast of the Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Thursday mornings at 9:30 at the Lorain County Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings, and as always, you are invited to attend.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning and welcome to the April 7th meeting of the Lorain County Board of Commissioners. I believe our first item is a resolution proclaiming April as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness. Didn't I see a resolution here?
It's right here.
This is
Yeah,
it?
it's in Glenn.
Okay.
Oh, that's Glenn.
We have the
You have it
original?
right there under your orange folder.
I'm not well, thank you. I thought I saw it here when I sat down. Okay, can we start again?
Sure, whenever you'd like, Commissioner.
It says, in the matter of recognizing National Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness for the month of April 2005, whereas Lorain County prides itself on giving back to the community, contributing to the quality of life among our citizens, providing a safe and enjoyable place to nurture children and raise families, and whereas Voices for Children holds an annual rally for kids at Westfield Shopping Town Mall, which is one of several awareness and education activities across the county in April to recognize National Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month. This year, the rally will be held on April 30th. And whereas more than 440 children in Lorain County suffer from some form of abuse or neglect each year, and whereas many Lorain County organizations and agencies have come together to make the public aware of the great services available to children and families in our county, and whereas through a local effort, our government, schools, churches, and local organizations must work together to ensure that every child has a chance for a safe and positive future. Now therefore be it resolved by the Lorain County Board of Commissioners that we hereby recognize National Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness for the month of April 2005 in Lorain County, and encourage all citizens to join in this effort to ensure every child has a chance for a safe and positive future free from abuse and neglect. And I am to present this too. I see some handsome bodies in the front row there. If you would come to the microphone, I will give this to you and then you can speak. How's that? And identify yourself, please.
I sound like a frog, so I'm sorry.
Tim Green is the director of Voices for Children
I think
over
I've
the county.
seen some commercials.
Yeah.
Have I not?
Yes, you have.
And this is Sister Mary, who is one of the board
I know
members.
Sister Mary.
And I am vice chairman. I would like to thank the commissioners for the support they have given all of us throughout the years. And I'd like to thank also for Ron Twining and his group for helping support the appreciation dinner, and Dan Billman and his group. And I want to thank everyone for all of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. Thank you for coming this morning.
Thank you.
Continued success to you.
Thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk. Oh,
Miss
9:35. You're
Well, we're
good.
way past that, but that's okay.
Oh.
Mr.
Hi, Bill. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you all?
Good. We're fine. How are you?
Good.
And your entourage?
Yes, we brought our group as well.
We're glad to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Thank you.
As you know, we have 18 board members on the Lorain County Board of Mental Health, 12 of whom are appointed by the Lorain County Commissioners and 6 by the Director of the Ohio Department of Mental Health. We currently have a vacancy for a county commissioner appointment, and I brought an updated list of our board members so that you have this and their terms and so forth.
Oh, thank you.
And it certainly is your prerogative to appoint whatever Lorain County resident you'd like to our board, although typically our nominating committee, and Marita Ferguson is here, come on up, and Tim Williams, who also serves on the committee, are here to talk to you about a person that they'll be recommending to the commissioners. One thing I want to point out about this committee is they actually meet monthly, year-round, searching for talent in Lorain County to serve on our board so that they can make recommendations. I am not involved in this committee. I really feel that since they're the ones overseeing what I do, I shouldn't be involved in this. So I'm just in a supporting role here to introduce them to you with the next steps in this process. But it's good to see you all anyhow.
Thank you, Bill. Good morning, Maurita and Tim.
Good morning, Commissioners, and all Lorain County citizens that are here. Just wanted you to be aware how hard we do work for this issue. I once made what I thought was a bit of humor, a joke, and I said, after all this work, do we get our pay doubled? And somebody believed me. And they said, how much do you make?
2 times nothing is still nothing.
Right. So what this specific committee has charged itself with in the past couple of years is we have looked at the at the census of Lorain County, and we're attempting to make this board reflect the citizenship that the census has indicated, gender-wise, ethnic-wise, and so forth. And that is a very big issue with us. We're doing fairly well because we are so interested in interviewing, looking for those citizens who actually have an interest, and we're hoping for a passion in mental health. And to tell you the truth, just about everybody we know has someone with a mental health issue, whether it's themselves quietly working through depression, whether it's a family member like myself and George, our son, whether it's someone that needs a great deal of assistance. But at any rate, whether it's statewide, nationally, no matter where I've traveled, everybody after a few minutes says, yes, I have. So thank you very much for the support you've given to this, and we hope that we have given the amount of support back to you and the citizens that you've charged us with. And now we have the name of Daniel Smith, and I'm going to ask Tim Williams, who works at the YWCA, he has his toe in everything in the county, so everybody knows him. Thank you.
Thanks, Marie. I would just like to offer you a little information about the candidate for recommendation, Daniel Smith. We went through a process of seeking out individuals via recommendations from board members. We've put things in the newspaper, and Daniel was one of the gentlemen who came across us as a recommendation. We had the opportunity to interview him, to do a little background check. Daniel is a very bright young man. He's an African American with a great ability to work with youth. Presently, he is employed by the Boys and Girls Club of Lorain County, and we've been able to actually see his work there, speak with him, and we have a good sense, a good confidence that he's committed to Lorain County and to making sure that there's advocacy for youth. And we think that that element is a great attribute to our board, and we feel very comfortable, very confident that he will represent the county in a very strong manner. He's an ethical person. He has proven to make good decisions, and we think he's going to be a great asset to the service that we do. So we make that recommendation to you all, and if you have any questions, we would gladly answer those to the best of our ability. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Tim. And Maurita. Commissioners, questions or comments?
Commissioner, may I just throw one more thing in?
Yes, ma'am.
At this time, we would like to appoint each and every one of you as ex officio members of the Lorain County Mental Health Board, specifically the nominating committee. Please call Bill. Everybody knows Bill Harper, the executive director, or call the commissioners and they'll tell you how to get to us if you have anyone that you would like to suggest. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maurita. We're always looking for good candidates to appoint to these boards to act on behalf of the various agencies. And I think that this kind of goes along with my quote for today, which I did not share with you at the beginning of the meeting. And it says, "Our world could not exist without all of the volunteers." And we really, really appreciate what you put forth on behalf of your fellow citizens in Lorain County. So I'll move that we appoint Daniel Smith.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye. Thank you for coming. And how's the building going?
We're ahead of schedule.
Good.
Full budget.
Good. Wow, we'd love to hear that. Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Well, number 2, Job and Family Services bills.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Investments.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Appropriations.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Advances and repayments.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Requisitions.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mise Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Travel expenses.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Bills.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Under the Commissioners, authorize various personnel actions as indicated on the summary.
Commissioners, I'll need a brief executive session. I have a couple issues on hires, a labor issue, a update on a potential purchase of real estate, and if we get into any other thing, I'll actually announce that afterwards. But I think that I know we have some scheduling issues with some of the commissioners to be brief, so I'll try to limit it to that.
You said
Yes,
brief?
no, did you notice?
Brief.
Wow.
We heard brief. Okay, we're going to hold you to that.
Thank you.
Take a lot of grief, don't you?
Approve and enter into an agreement with Collins, Gordon, Bostwick Architects, Cleveland, to perform architectural services for the renovation and alterations of Lorain County Transportation Center in the base amount of $384,300, plus allowances totaling $88,500, and an additional specialty services of $154,000. The allowances and specialty services will only be performed upon the written request of the county, and these funds will be paid from account 400060201491501Q Construction Transportation.
Mr. Cortez, I reviewed the contract briefly. Do we have a target date, any time of a framework? I didn't review it that closely.
Immediately. We're ready to go. I'd like to see some real activity this summer at the Transportation Center. Recently, we announced that through a lot of people's efforts, NOACA was able to redirect $600,000 of future potential funding to this year, and we can use that to abate the asbestos in the building and begin that process. We have to work through ODOT. Unfortunately, the money that we're receiving is great because we don't have to use local dollars, but it's very hard money to access and get through the grant process and all the requirements that we need to meet. But I'm comfortable that we're going to start seeing some, at least some demolition and inside renovation of the building late this summer, early this fall. One of the things we want to try to get done is to get the roof torn off and get a new roof put on the building. It's in terrible condition, and the longer it sits that way, the more the building deteriorates. So the first phase of the Transportation Center is to work on the building structure itself, wall stability, foundation stability. Let me not mislead you, I don't know that we have big issues with those things, but those, on an older building, those are the things you have to do first. New roof, new electrical, things like that. That's all part of phase one. That'll stabilize the building and bring it to be able to bring it into the future, and then we'll start phase two. I don't see us occupying the building though for at least another year and a half. But again, that depends on where the funding comes from. Right now we have available to us $2.6 million, and that's sufficient enough to begin major phase one work.
What's the total project cost anticipated?
Not to be elusive, it depends. It depends on how much we ultimately do. We believe at the end of phase three that we'll have a building that's usable and we'll have a resource to the community. To complete the total project is about 6 phases, and that includes for the trains up on the platforms and so forth. I'm not sure that we're ever going to see that phase of the project, but it's there, it's available. Working with Norfolk Southern is going to be difficult. We have tunnel issues, we have right-of-way issues, we have the platforms probably going to run $1 million to $1.5 million all on their own. You need elevators to get up there. But, everything begins with a plan. It begins with a desire. So we've multi-phased the plan so that we can get a resource that'll better the community, rather than waiting until we had the whole $7 or $8 million, which may never materialize. I anticipate within probably 2 years seeing transit occupying this building and seeing some of the transit buses rumbling around down there. Remembering that Senator Voinovich has been contacted and we've put a package through his office for dollars. Congressman Brown's people in Washington have been great working with us. I've been in recent contact with them for additional dollars. They were able to secure $1 million last year, but they did ask for 2.2. So they're going back to the well for us again, trying to get us another big drink to bring us some more money. We've also have contacted ODOT and discussed the funding streams to ODOT, and we've sent stuff down to the state. So we're going to continue to lobby and push for this project. And I'm comfortable believing that while we may not see those $1 million blocks coming again, 100,000 here, 100,000 there, if we ask enough people, add up to the money we need. So I'm just happy that we're going to see some progress. And we'll do like we did with the Justice Center. We'll post it on the internet. We'll have the inside pictures. We'll take pictures of the demo, everything's going on, keep the community involved, and reach out and watch them watch this project unfold.
So we're only going to complete phase by phase as the money becomes available to us. We're not going to use any local dollars.
Well, we're going to have to use some local dollars to match some of these federal dollars. That most of the federal dollars are 80-20 money. But we have some money in the project already, I believe, that can be used for match, such as the building purchase and so forth. So it's all up to the commissioners on how much later on. We'll be making various recommendations to you, see what the tolerance levels are, see the availability of funding. But we are trying to complete the project with a minimal amount of additional local dollars. I don't want to sit here and guarantee you that that's going to be the only way it'll work. I'm really, really not sure. We did apply to ODOT for 10% construction match money. We had some a couple years ago, but we weren't able to get federal money to do the construction, so we had all this match money for 10%. They call it 10% match. We had to turn it back in. We applied for $250,000 10% matching grants last year, and ODOT didn't have sufficient funding to fund us. But we've been networking with them, and we're going to go back to them again and try to get some construction match money from them again. So we're working on it. I have to point out that Karen Davis working on us, Ron Twining's working on us. You have a lot of your staff members from various places under the commissioners as part of that team working on this project. And I think we're going to be successful at the end of the day, but I don't want to tell you that we may not come back and need a few local dollars, but we're trying to do it without needing that right now.
Other questions? I move for approval. Item
Second.
number 11.
Second.
Any further discussion? Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Approve and enter into contract between the Board of Commissioners and Pittsfield Township to participate in the county's joint self-insured health care plan effective May 1st, 2005, expiring December 31st, 2007.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Receive and journalize an expedite 2-type annexation petition for 91.23 acres from LaGrange Township to the Village of LaGrange. Attorney Paul Blevins is the agent. Decision will be placed on the agenda on Thursday, May 5th, 2005, which is the 35th day. And if you notice, this is the same petition that was denied last week.
Yeah, but you said it so softly. I want to say it more loudly so everybody really hears this. This is the same annexation that was
Exact
rejected
same.
last Thursday. And the petition was refiled that very same day?
Yes.
I guess you want someone to move
Correct.
to
Receive and
receive
file.
and journalize it.
So I can start the process.
Well, you're not approving it. You're just-
I understand.
So moved.
No second. Did you have a second?
Can't win on this one, guys.
Okay. Number 14.
Wait just a minute.
Oh.
Can I hear from Jerry Ennis, please?
Yeah.
I think you have.
That's a very good
I think
question.
there's a requirement to allow them to file it.
Well, I mean, it happens whether you approve it or not. I mean, there's no choice. You have to receive, and the clerk has to journalize it, so.
And she can do that with or without our motion?
She's going to do it.
Again, this is a technical step that is required by the board. I know I find it distasteful since you made the decision last week. At least the majority of the board finds it distasteful. But I would request that maybe you revisit that last item and at least allow it to be journalized and entered into into the record.
I think I'm hearing Mr. Ennis say that it's going to be received and journalized with or without a motion of the Board of Commissioners.
Well, it certainly would be better if the commissioners approved.
That's our attorney telling us that.
I mean, I don't want to see some kind of defect here.
I'll second Mr. Kalo's motion
You're going to
They remake the
that?
motion.
Thank you.
With prejudice, right?
with prejudice.
Thank you.
Mr. Kalo.
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski.
Aye.
Ms. Blair.
Aye.
Thank you.
Very enthusiastic aye down there, Mrs. Blair.
Number 14, halting a tidal wave of layoffs and closure of the NASA Glenn Research Center, Cleveland, Ohio, and support the increase of aeronautics funding to focus on technology that improves America's competitive position and benefits the public good.
Commissioners, Teresa has prepared a very nice resolution that was put together based on information that I brought back from a meeting on Monday, was hosted in Cleveland. And sometimes we think these things do not necessarily affect our area because they're not in our county, but that was not necessarily true. I attended the breakfast and sat next to a gentleman who introduced himself to me as Robert Romero. And I thought, well, that name sounds very familiar. And while I was trying to place it, he says, I'm Richard's brother. And he said, I live in Avon, and I work at the NASA Glenn Institute. So it was a very interesting meeting. Senator Voinovich was there and spoke. Governor Taft was there and spoke. They had a DVD from Senator John Glenn, and it was a very forceful message. Congressman LaTourette, Kucinich, and Congressman Brown were there and also spoke. And they're not finding fault with the President's initiative to go to Mars and wherever, but they are concerned about what they feel is, I can't spit it out, short-sightedness about not funding the aeronautics portion of their budget. So if you're so inclined, I would appreciate it if we would endorse this and send it to the appropriate parties. And if you have no further questions, I'll so move.
Second.
Any further discussion? Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Under the Community Development Department, instruct the clerk to advertise for notice for the second public hearing for the 2005 CHIP on Thursday, April 26th at 10 a.m. Notice will be published in the Chronicle Telegram on April 8th and 15th.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Award various contracts for private owner rehab assistance to be paid from account 22404-2601-450111, Lorain County Community Housing Improvement Program, FY05, for repairs to the exterior and interior of the residence such as roof, furnace, electrical, and windows due to the presence of lead. One is to Class Construction Avon Lake in the amount of $38,098.50, which includes a 10% contingency of $3,463.50 for any unforeseen change order that may arise for Robert J. and Joyce J. Bishop at 12777 Grafton Road, Eaton Township. And then to Boger Quality Builders, Inc., Port Clinton, Ohio, in the amount of $35,201.10, which also includes a contingency of 10% of $3,200.10 for any unforeseen change orders that may arise for Kimberly Ann Mazurek at 4397 Tennyson Avenue, Sheffield Lake.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kalo?
Aye.
Under Solid Waste Management, allocate $15,000 for a litter pickup program in cooperation with Lorain County Solid Waste Management and Lorain County Engineer to be paid from account 20201-5302-490117. These funds will provide for 6 seasonal workers, a van, and maintenance, safety equipment, and training, and I believe this is the 5th year.
Dan Billman, do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Bill Holtzman's also here.
Of course.
Who's also here?
Bill Holtzman from the engineer's
Oh,
office.
from the engineer's office. Hi, Bill.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dan Billman, Solid Waste Director for the Commissioners. This program has been in effect since year 2000. We started it under the initiative of Commissioner Blair, at her insistence. It's been a good partnership with the County Engineer's Office, and we notice a difference within the communities, in the townships, because there's a lot less litter after they're done. The crews actually go through these roadways in the townships probably a couple times during this period of time. They have the crew that we pay for is a crew of about 5 or 6 people. They use the van to get out there every day, unless it's inclement weather. They hire part-time people, young people, to give them some money during the summer and something to do. We also, through the engineer's office and ODOT, we do an Adopt the Roadway program, of which Commissioner Kalo is a part of. He's got a section of road over in the Lorain area, which works out very, very well. We also have a Judge Elwell in Lorain that does a park, and we're looking for more people to do that. With the litter pickup on the roads, it's a quality of life issue, and we need to keep doing these programs in order to clean up neighborhoods, clean up roads, and I would ask the commissioners to continue this program, because it's money well spent.
Thank you, Dan.
Any
Questions?
questions?
No, I would just like to add not only just the nuisance of litter, but also if there's large pieces of metal laying on the side of the road, it could ruin some of our grass cutting equipment and things like that, too.
Right, and that's a very valid point that Carney likes to make, because actually it saves him money because he doesn't have the repairs on the mowers.
Right.
And we've also looked at other equipment to help ODOT and the engineer's office to facilitate their picking stuff up. But we have a tremendous problem with 90 and 480 going through our communities because the mediums seem to get it pretty bad. And the workers do not go into the medium if it's an ODOT. If it's not an ODOT worker, they can't go into medium. So we will be possibly looking at some equipment that will help them out in that respect to better our highways in the county.
Thank you, Dan. Also move.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Workforce Development Agency instruct the clerk to advertise for bids for 5 programs for DWIB Youth Council. 1 is paid and unpaid work experience, internships, and job shadowing opportunities. 2, leadership summits. 3, soft skills and career exploration. 4, summer employment opportunities. And the 5th is tutoring and study skills, dropout prevention, and mentoring. This notice, and I made a mistake here, notice will be published in the Chronicle Telegram on April 10th and 17th. And bids will be open on May 2nd at 2 p.m. in the back conference room.
Okay. I'd just like to acknowledge Bill Ogle, who's here. And Bill, I think you should introduce your replacement.
I'll be happy to do so, Commissioners. Good morning. Bill Ogle, Workforce Development Agency. My successor, Vivian Alexander,
Come on up,
began
Vivian.
her employment.
Come on down.
Vivian began her employment last Monday. Vivian, like to say something? Put you on the spot.
Good morning. First, I'd like to say thank you to the Commissioners. I started on March 28th. It's been going very well. And I have some big shoes to fill, but I don't see that being a problem. And thank you.
Good. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
That's it? Okay. I'll move for approval.
Second.
Any further discussion? Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Under Children's Services, appoint and reappoint various members to the Lorain County Children's Services Board effective April 7, 2005, expiring April 6, 2009. Appoint Rachel Melanowski, and then reappoint Dr. Delbert Mason.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Approve and enter into a renewal agreement between the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services, Lorain County Public Children's Services Agency, and Lorain County Board of Commissioners for the Protect Ohio, Ohio's Title IV Child Welfare Demonstration Project. This project began in 1997 and allows participating counties flexibility in the use of federal 4E dollars, which is a major funding source for Lorain County Children's Services, and this agreement is retroactive to October 2004 through September 2009.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Under the engineer, reject all bids for the 2005 chip and seal program and instruct the clerk to re-advertise for bids. Notice will be published in the Morning Journal on April 11th and 18th, and bids to be open on April 25th at 2:30 in the Commissioners' Public Hearing Room.
Mr. Holtzman, do you have anything to say to the board?
Yeah, just briefly, when the county accepted the bids for the 2005 chip and seal program, there was a requirement that the bidders identify their asphalt supplier and include certification with their bids for that project. The low bidder and second bidder did not provide that documentation. The third bidder did, but they were $30,000 higher than the low bid, so we felt it was in the best interest of the county to reject all bids and re-advertise. We think we'd be in a better position to get better bids.
Thank you. Questions? Also move.
Second.
Any further discussion? Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Thank you, Bill.
Receive and accept the 2005 Annual Highway Condition Report.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Just to let the public be aware, the report that they had given us was looking at $36 million just to bring our highways up to first class, $3.7 million to keep them at their present level, and $2,770 to chip and seal. So you can imagine where your tax dollars are going. It's a lot of money to keep our roads in drivable conditions.
Ms. Blair?
Aye. Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Under the prosecutor, authorize the Office of Lorain County Prosecuting Attorney to dispose of old books in accordance with ORC 307.12G.
You have comments, Jerry?
No?
Just if you had a question, in this day and age, almost all legal research is done through computerization. There's a few of us senior members that still like to read books, so we have one set of revised code, but this is a second set, and the expense of keeping them updated is not really worth it. And since the move to the Justice Center, we are taking Mr. Cordez's advice and trying to not accumulate junk and move it when it becomes no longer useful. We do contact the Historical Society and other groups that seem to be interested in old books, but these are probably in the category of being too old to be useful and not old enough to be of interest to anybody.
Thank you. Also move.
Second.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Under the Recorder, approve and enter into various contracts on behalf of Lorain County Recorder's Office to be paid from account 21801-2401-450101 contract services. One is to Derek's Office Products, Lorain, for specific IBM office equipment in the amount of $1,397, which is effective May 4, 2005. Two, Simplex Grinnell, Strongsville, to renew the time clock maintenance effective April 1st, 2005 through March 31st, 2006 in the amount of $231, and a full coverage maintenance agreement effective May 1st, 2005 through April 30th, 2006 in the amount of $264. 3, Stellant Sales, Inc., Colorado Springs, Colorado, for a software assurance agreement for software technology support in the amount of $16,842 with a 30-day cancellation clause effective retroactive to February 1st, 2005, expiring January 31st, 2006. And then to Casnet from Akron for a maintenance agreement for scanning and printing computer equipment in the amount of $6,147.39, effective May 23rd, 2005 through March 22nd, 2006 with 30-day cancellation clause.
Also move.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Under Soil and Water, instruct the clerk to advertise for bids for the Lindsay Ditch Phase 2 Ditch Improvement Project, Wellington Township. This notice will be published in the Chronicle Telegram on April 11th and 18th, and bids to be open at 2 p.m. on May 3rd in the Commissioners' Public Hearing Room. A pre-bid meeting will be April 22nd, 2 p.m. at Lorain Soil and Water Conservation District at 42110 Russia Road, Elyria, and there are maps up there. For
Yes,
you.
Mr. Zunich brought maps, as he said he would. Thank you very much. And I just want to comment, this money that we're spending to clean these ditches is money that the commissioners have allocated to soil and water. Am I correct?
Yes.
It's about $170-some thousand.
That's about right.
And we're continuing our ditch cleaning program we started a couple years ago, which I think is very worthwhile. Also move.
Second.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Cordes, County Administrator?
I was going to introduce our newest department head, but Commissioner Blair took that privilege.
My coffee cup says I'm the queen of everything. You
I
got to
thank
pay
you for-
attention to
I
that.
thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
A quick update. I was going to send it just to the commissioners, but since we discussed it at length out here, I probably the audience and people that watch have a right to know. The mattress program and the baby crib program that we dialogued on last week, I've had some long discussions with Ms. Golsky over at Department of Job and Family Services, and so that we have an opportunity to do that program right. As you know, we were crunched for time trying to get that done. And I was concerned that whatever we did was going to be just wasn't going to be an effective way of getting it done. We're going to be in too much of a hurry. She has agreed, going back up, recent changes allow that money now to be rolled past July 1st. So she has agreed to reallocate money to that program after July 1st. So we're backing up, taking a little bit of time with this, and we're not going to rush into it and try to get it done in the next 60 days because we'll have resources this summer and we'll be able to put together a better program and still use that money. So I didn't want you to think that the money was going to be returned. We're still going to be able to provide for the community, but we have more time to do that. That's just an update of what we talked about last week. Okay, and I'm glad that occurred. So we'll have the ability to not return that money to the state. We'll have another year to deal with that program. And that's all I really have this morning, except to remind you about the exec. Thank you.
Mr. Ennis, Assistant County Prosecutor.
I have no report this morning.
Commissioners report.
Commissioner Lorain?
Well, yesterday, Commissioner Blair and I took a tour of BFI, and it was pretty interesting. We toured the landfills, and one of the things that really stuck out in my mind, they take the methane gas and they convert that into electricity for the city of Oberlin. The city of Oberlin uses, I think he said 14 kilowatts of electricity to run their whole city, and BFI is actually providing 11 kilowatts of all that electricity. So that was pretty interesting. And they also have a reader, some kind of level reader of hazardous waste when a truck comes by. And as little as someone on chemo or radiation blowing their nose and throwing that into garbage, they pick that up. So they're really watching out for us to make sure we don't have any hazardous waste in our landfill. And we visited the recycling center where they drop off all our recyclables, and I would urge all of the Lorain County residents to use their blue bag program if they have that in their community and recycle. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Just like to say I had the opportunity last Friday to attend my first government day for Lorain County, and it was a good turnout, 125 to 150 people. Nice dialogue to see where our money's spent and the projects that ODOT has planned for our county in the upcoming year and where all the orange barrels are going to go to. And it gave me the opportunity also to talk about reintroducing a north-south corridor. When I came into office, I started talking with our administrator and Ron Twining, and I've spoke with Commissioner Byers from Ashland and people with ODOT and the Turnpike Commission that it's time maybe to bring that back in, especially with the hopeful development on the west side of our county with the possible quarries project and the Turnpike ramp there. So it was a pleasure being there, and I can't wait till next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'd like to say, first of all, that I'm glad to see Ron Twining back at the meetings. I hope you're feeling better. You were sorely missed. I had an exciting week. I was gone someplace every day, and not always to the office. I was asked to attend the Midview Women's Club meeting. They have a grant that they have received, and they have a group of seniors that they host lunch for and bring educational speakers in, and they had it's been 4 or 5 speakers, including our prosecutor, and they invited me to attend as well. So I had some pamphlets from the Pat Littleton's office, tell us what we do on behalf of seniors. So I took them along and had a few comments, and I was treated very nicely there. In fact, I saw some people from my home area that I hadn't seen for a while, so it's always nice to get out there. And one day this week, I was asked to speak to the new politics club at Whittier Middle School, and Brandon Neely as their advisor, and what a nice group of young individuals. That was very exciting. And at 3 of the places where I went, mostly at the Ohio Extension Advisory group, I represented Mr. Twining because he wasn't there that night, so I was Mr. Twining. But I talked about local government fund. And I've given each of you a draft letter, which I'm suggesting that we send to State Senator Armbruster, and I'll accept any and all corrections as we go. This is a draft, but last week, I think Commissioner Kalo suggested we send a letter or have an editorial in the paper, and since that time, I think things have changed a little bit on the scene as with respect to what's happening in the local government fund. I did write, in fact, Joyce sent an email to all the House of Representatives and the senators, the last letter that I composed myself, on telling them, I'll back up, on March 11th, Larry Flowers, the third highest ranking representative on the Republican side, together with 3 other representatives, came to the NOACA meeting to ask for our suggestions about what we would think we ought to do with respect to the local government fund. And so I made some suggestions, and I thought as I left the meeting, I'm not just going to make these, I'm going to commit them to writing, because I like a piece of paper. That way they can't say they didn't hear what I had to say. Mm-hmm. And I suggested that they keep the 1% sales tax that they initiated. And I made some other suggestions too. And so I sent a copy of that to all of them. Well, Pat Geisman, who's a commissioner from Medina County, had an editorial in the paper. Well, how interesting is her representative has now suggested and introduced House Bill 66, which in fact would retain the 1% sales tax. And if they do that and make the necessary adjustments, it appears that we could keep the local government fund. So I guess that I'm suggesting that we might be in favor of House Bill 66 and keeping the local government fund intact. And just as a refresher, in case you don't know this, I mean, I know this by heart now because I've said it so many times, the 20% cut to Lorain County's local government slated for 2006 would be $1.9 million. That's a lot of money. Which is even more ridiculous to me is that the city of Lorain would lose $713,000. And they have just passed that 1.25% income tax, which is estimated to generate $2.4 million. And already they have lost 30% of that tax to offset this reduction. And recently this week, the Chronicle Telegram had a nice lineup of what the library's loss will be, and I've totaled that up, and that's over $500,000. And during 2003, which is what we had complete figures for, John Rokasi provided them to us, Lorain County and all of our political subdivisions, we received $27 million in local government monies. And the state calls us their partner in providing local government services, but I don't see how you can treat partners like this. I mean, it's just unconscionable to me. So anyway, that's my song and dance, and I think the County Commissioners Association advises us that on May 12th is the time slot for the Senate Finance Committee to hear this issue. And so if it's okay with you, if you like the content of this letter, I'll have it finalized for your signature and we'll send it out. And we might even be so lucky as Joyce has that stuff all in her email so we could send it to all the senators and representatives. I think they need to hear from us.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if you got this in your mail yesterday. This is sent by the Campaign to Stop Ohio Slide. I have no idea who they are, but it's very centralized. It lists our state, our representative, and suggests that we call him, gives his phone number and his district, and tells him that we need to take a closer look at how much it could cost us. And it talks about cuts to police, fire, local libraries, and schools. Doesn't mention the county, but guess what? We're taking a big hit too. So anyway, that's my song and dance. Thank you.
I have no clerk's report. Board correspondence?
Move the reading be waived.
Second.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Public comment?
Ladies and gentlemen. Sister Mary?
Good morning. Thank you very much. I really have two things to share with you. One, I'm one of the coordinators for the Rally for Kids that we do at the mall. This is the 4th year that we've done it, and it's a wonderful opportunity for the different groups in the county that have something to offer to our children and families to make their information available. So I would just encourage anyone who has not yet signed up for that to contact the Voices for Children office and let them know that they would like to do that. We always get a good entertainment for the day, and it's we kind of take over the mall for the day, so it's a great opportunity.
And that date again, sister, is?
Is the last Saturday in April, which is the 30th, and it lasts all day long. The second thing I wanted to share with you is we have been working for several years on a project in the county called Blessing House. Blessing House is a facility that will be available to children when their families are in crisis and will provide a safe place where those children can stay. Well, the last hurdle that we had to get over was being licensed by the state of Ohio. Yesterday afternoon, I got an email saying that effective yesterday, our license has come through. So we will do a practice with our staff the weekend of April 15th and 16th, and then following that, we will be available to accept children from the county who need a safe place to stay when their family is in crisis. So if anyone's interested, I can give you our phone number, which is 240-1851. We're located in Sheffield Township, just off the northwest corner of 57 and 254. We're on Grove Avenue. You'll see a big yellow house, which is our logo, up on the front of our house after this weekend. And so I would invite the commissioners, if you're in the area, please stop in and take a look. Thank you.
And congratulations to you and the group that's worked so hard on this project. It's been a long time coming. Thank you, sister. Shirley?
Shirley R. Johnson Oberlin. I want to urge people to do as the commissioners have indicated in relation to local government funds and contact all their representatives because there are tremendous cuts. And the Chronicle Telegram several days ago had a list of the amounts of money that the libraries in the county would be affected by. And there are big drops for 2006 and big drops and further drops in the 2007 year. And for an administration that's supposed to be so pro-education, that's a terrible thing to do.
Thank you, Shirley, for your comments. Anyone else? Seeing none, I move we go into executive session for the purposes outlined by the administrator.
Second.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Thursday mornings at 9:30 at the Lorain County Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings, and as always, you are invited to attend.